Good evening, everybody, and welcome to beautiful Fraser Field here in Lynn, Massachusetts. I'm Sean with my classical crew. We're happy to bring you the second game of the Doug Mullins tournament. Currently, English is sitting at an overall record of 10-8. In the GBL, they stand at 9 wins, 5 losses. St. Mary's, an overall record of 11-6, and a league record of 6-1. Some pretty good baseball coming to you from the 01904 zip code here in Lynn, Massachusetts. And up to bat first will be St. Mary's. Velasco will be leading off the Spartans. As I was coming into the game, I saw the great Mr. Hoffman leaving. He made me aware that Classical was able to come away with the first victory. Pitching for Lynn English today is Elijah Wallace. Elijah will not be batting. And we're very excited to host you here at Fraser Field as we're boasting a brand new turf. If you've been sticking around with the baseball games, you may have noticed that we were down at Breed with a sweet sun glare in your eye, and you may notice the venue change today.
Leading off the St. Mary's at the top of the third. That pitcher, number 8, Tommy Velasco.
Tommy Velasco to lead off for St. Mary's. Wallace with the pitch, way outside, working out the kinks. He looked pretty good in warm-ups. Ooh! Shot to the head's going to send Tommy Velasco to first base. Elijah Wallace's first pitch, way outside right. Second, dead center on the helmet of Tommy Velasco. He'll take a walk for his first at-bat. Domeno up to bat for St. Mary's. And Velasco will come in as we get a pinch runner at first. And let's see what the righty can do. Shortstopman. Domeno playing shortstop for St. Mary's today. Wallace's first pitch is a ball, a second, right down the middle for a strike. 1-1 count. The pitch, St. Mary's is on their way to second. Can they steal second? Nope. Looks like he's going to be thrown out. And the strategy of getting a pinch runner over there to first doesn't bode well for St. Mary's. A little bit of difference in field dimensions. 3-1 count, 1 out for the Spartans. Domeno grounds one over to the shortstop, fielded cleanly. High ball results in a stand-up double. Well, St. Mary's with 2 hits so far. Henry Manzanillo not able to deliver to the first baseman, Adrian Bonilla. Jadina up to bat for St. Mary's, the center fielder, wearing 15 today. One out, one in scoring position for the Spartans. The pitch fouled back. That'll be a souvenir. And all of a sudden, my camera guy's a little nervous. I do notice they don't have the top net up. We'll see what we can do. 1-2 count. One out for the Spartans. Ground ball gets past the third baseman. Domeno's going to round third and head in home. Another high ball to the catcher. Results in a slide double for Jardina. And 2 doubles for the Spartans and 1 run so far. The pitch, strike. Chris Marks up to bat for the Spartans. The designated hitter wearing number 33. A special number to us classical alum. 1-1 count, 1 out, 1 in scoring position for the Spartans. The pitch, low and outside. Elijah Wallace working to find his groove today. 2-1 count. Ground ball over to third base. He'll be thrown out pretty easily. Good heads-up play by Jariel Benson for Lynn English. McGonnell up to bat, the right fielder for St. Mary's, wearing 14 today. So Domeno sits at third in scoring position, fouled off. Sorry, that's Jardina. Sitting pretty at third base. St. Mary's already got 1 run. Oh, 2 count, 2 outs for the Spartans. The pitch. And his first strikeout of the day. And that'll be 3. So, at the end of the first half of the first inning, St. Mary's leads 1-0. We'll be back after this break. Leading off for the Bulldogs, Jason Figueroa. First at bat for St. Mary's. The pitch. Fouled off. Pitching for the Spartans, Tommy Falaska. Falaska with a walk up at his first at bat. Hit straight in the helmet. Falaska with the pitch. 0-1 count, way outside. One and 1 count. Falaska with the pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-2 count. The pitch from Falaska. Grounded along the first base line, and that's going to fall foul. One and 2 count here. Swing and a miss. That's Falaska's first strikeout of the game.
The catcher, number 4, Brendan Falaska.
Brendan Falaska up to bat against Tommy Falaska. 1 out for the Bulldogs. Here at the second game of the Doug Mullins tournament, the pitch from Tommy is a strike. 0-1 count, 1 out for the Bulldogs. Bringing the heat. Now, I know that the great John Hoffman would know the middle school records of both of these players and whether or not they were related. And I don't want to make any assumptions, but it's more fun. Swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts for Falaska. So, McKay to start, McKay to continue. Eldrian Bonilla up to bat for the Bulldogs. Tommy Falaska hoping to get 3 in his first inning here. Pop fly. Catcher's looking for it. Might have lost it in the sun. And that one falls as a souvenir only and not an insurance claim, so we're happy about that. Happy to have the kids from Lynn Classical helping us to film. 0-2 count. Pitch low and away. Two outs for the Bulldogs. The pitch from Falaska. Just a bit outside. 2-2 count. Eldrian Bonilla grounds one. Foul. The pitch fouled away. Two and two count, 2 outs for the Bulldogs. Fouled over along the third base line. That'll sail past St. Mary's. And that's Peone not able to get there. And Eldrian will lead off with the first hit for Lynn English.
Third baseman number 13,
Jariel Benzon up to bat for the Bulldogs. 1 on first. The pitch from Falaska. Right where he wants it. Swing and a miss. Quite the cut from Jariel Benzon. Pitch, swing and a miss. And that's Falaska's third of the day. It's a great way to lead off. So after a ground out, single grounded past the third baseman from St. Mary's. St. Mary's still leading 1-0, and we'll be back right after this break. Top of the second, Jared Peone up to bat for St. Mary's, the third baseman. Swing and a miss. Low and in the dirt. Compliments from the St. Mary's dugout on his eye. Wallace finishing up the first inning with the strikeout, hoping to carry that momentum in to the second inning here. 2-2 count for Jared Payon. Good eye from the third baseman out of St. Mary's. 3-2 count. The pitch from Wallace. Shot over to the second baseman for English, fielded cleanly.
First baseman, number 24, Shane Newhall.
Shane Newhall up to bat for St. Mary's, the first baseman. Wallace with the pitch. 1-1 count, 1 out for the Spartans. Two and one. Newhall's first at bat. Fouls that one off. The pitch from Wallace. Swing and a miss.
The catcher, number 22, Isaiah Weston.
Ground ball over along the third baseline. He's going to dig it out, try to get there in time, and he won't. And that'll make it 3 for St. Mary's. Weston grounds out. St. Mary's not able to walk away with any runs there. A good defensive front by the Bulldogs. And we'll see what they can put together on offense after this break. Leading off for Lynn English, the shortstop, Kenry Manzanillo, his first at bat of the game. The pitch from Falaska. 0-1 count. St. Mary's leading 1-0. The pitch just a bit inside. Another inside pitch. 2-1 count. Three and 1 count. A lot of enthusiasm from the English dugout. Full count. Fouled away. Stays alive. The shortstop out of English, Manzanillo, getting his money's worth from Tommy Falaska. High fastball, swing and a miss. And that's Falaska's 4th strikeout of the game so far. And we're only 1 inning in. Gilbert Galva up to bat for the Bulldogs, designated hitter, wearing number 17. Falaska's first pitch, a ball. 1 out for the Bulldogs. High and inside. 2-0 count. The pitch. Low and away. 3-0. The pitch. Strike. Three and one count. Velasco with the pitch. Galva fouls that one back. The pitch, swing and a miss. His 5th of the game. And this tournament means a lot to St. Mary's. The Doug Mullins tournament here in Lynn, Massachusetts, which you can expect to be an annual occurrence. Anybody who's been following St. Mary's baseball this past decade knows that Coach Mullins played a pretty big role for the Spartans. It means a lot that these guys put forward their best effort. Get a W here. 1-0 count, 2 outs for the Bulldogs. Gullimer Galva up to bat. One and one count. Low and away. 3-0 count, 2 outs. Now, Tommy Velasquez started the last 2 batters with 3 balls before 2 strikes. And odds kick in. He'll walk Gullimer Galva. Mateo Rodriguez, the left fielder for Lynn English, leads his first at bat off with a strike. Tommy Velasquez sending a message over to Gilbert Galva, trying to make him think twice about taking second base. 2 outs here for the Bulldogs. The pitch, swing and a miss. And now we got a rundown situation here on the second base line. Can they get there in time? The ump will call him out. So a hefty lead results in the 3rd out. And the 2nd inning here at Frazier Field. St. Mary's leading 1-0. We'll be right back. Seth Sullivan up to bat for St. Mary's, left fielder. First one's a strike. His first at bat. Oh, 0-2 count. Nice start for Elijah Wallace's 3rd inning. Line drive over to the right fielder for English. Fielded cleanly, Jason Figueroa. And Sullivan will lead off with an out. Short hit. Velasco able to get to first cleanly. St. Mary's on. 1 out. Tommy DeMano up to bat for the
The
Spartans.
ball, pinch running from Alaska. The shortstop, number 27, Michael Domeno.
Sorry, Mike DeMano. Tommy Falaska. See a pinch hitter for him. 1-0 count. Ground ball along the first base line will roll foul. One and one count, a bunt. Higher than he expected. Was looking for it. Lucky for him, Wallace can't get the ball into play. It will result in a single. And he moves the base runner from first to third here.
Center fielder, number 15, Tad Giardina.
Giardina up to bat for St. Mary's. Center fielder wearing 15 today. The pitch from Wallace. Grounds past Wallace. Over to the shortstop. English with an opportunity for a double play there. Can't wrap it up. And St. Mary's will bring in their second run of the game. So the last three at batters, all with singles. The DH, Chris Marks, up to bat for the Spartans. Wallace's first pitch, a little low. 1-0 count, 2 outs for the Spartans. And 1 man on. The pitch, another low one. Marks grounded out at his first at bat, but was able to drive home a batter. And the third baseman out of Lynn English, Jariel Benzan, able to field that one cleanly. And he'll ground out. Chris Marks not able to get on or get an RBI there. St. Mary's leading 2-0. We'll be back after this break. Welcome back. Leading off for the bottom of the third, Mateo Rodriguez, the left fielder out of Lynn English. On the mound for St. Mary's, still Tommy Falaska. Fly ball over to the center fielder. He comes in a long way to make that play. Good heads-up play by Gardina. Ground ball gets past Falaska, but not the shortstop. 2 outs for Lynn English.
Right field, number 2, Jason Figueroa.
Back to the start of the English lineup here. Jason Figueroa, a strikeout in his first at bat. Fouls that one away. And you got to be an athlete to be a spectator here at Frazier Field. Velasco with the pitch. High and outside. 1-1 count. 2 outs for the Bulldogs. Ground ball along the first baseline. Not able to field it cleanly, but Velasquez there to make the play. And another ground out. The end of 3 here. St. Mary's leading 2 English. Zip. The pitch. Ground ball over to the second baseman for Lynn English. McGonnell will be thrown out. Third baseman Jared Mayone up to bat for St. Mary's. Payon with a strikeout in his last at bat. Oh and 1 count. 0 and 2. Pitch grounds past the pitcher. Shortstop there for the play. Can't pull it in. Kenry Manzanillo there on the attempt. St. Mary's will get another guy on base. Newhall with an 0-1 count. No outs for the Spartans. And it should be, there is 1 out. 1 out for the Spartans. And a pinch hitter coming in. Parent, the pinch runner for St. Mary's at first base. High fastball, 1-1 count. Brendan Velasquez messes around with that ball in the dirt. But Parent decides to stick at first base. Ooh. Low and inside. Swing, ground ball along the first baseline. That'll be scooped up cleanly. Can they get 2? No, they can't. So Newhall will ground out. Catcher Isaiah Weston up to bat. Pop fly in the right field, and that'll end it. And we'll be back with the second half of the 4th inning after this break. St. Mary's leading 2-0. Leading off with the Bulldogs, Brendan Velasquez. Tommy Velasquez still up to bat, and it's still up at the pitcher's mound. Check swing. Calls it a strike. The pitch, bit outside. Velasquez still goes for it. The catcher out of English leading off with a strikeout in the first inning, and a pop fly to center right. Center fielder comes in on a long way to make that play.
First baseman,
English first baseman Eldrian Bonilla up to bat for the Bulldogs. His first at bat was a single. That was in the first inning. This is his second at bat here. 0-1 count. 1 out for the Bulldogs. Oh and 2 count. Ground ball over to the shortstop for St. Mary's. He fields that cleanly, able to get it over to the first baseman. Good heads-up play there by DeMano. 2 outs for the Bulldogs. Jeriel Bunzan, the third baseman out of Lynn English. The second at-bat today, leads off his first with a strikeout. First swing and a miss. Two outs for the Bulldogs. St. Mary's leading 2-0 here at the Doug Mullins tournament. 0-2 count. Velasca hoping to end his strikeout drought here on this pitch. Jariel Benzan, I'm sure, has something to say about that. The pitch from Velasca, way outside. 1-2 count. The pitch from Velasca. That one might have rolled across home plate. 2-2 count, 2 outs for the Bulldogs. Outside, full count. Fouled away. Staying alive. A bit of redemption on the mind of the third baseman out of Lynn English, Jariel Benzan. And he'll take time to think about this one, or he'll take time to get Velasca to think about this one. The pitch, swing and a miss. His second strikeout of the game, and that'll be it for the fourth. We'll be back with the top of the fifth right after this. Seth Sullivan tries to lead off with a bunt. Left fielder out of St. Mary's. Can't pull away in time. Pop fly right over to the second baseman for Lynn English. He'll gobble that one up. Good play by Janier Rodriguez. Sullivan struggling to get on base. Tommy Velasca up to bat for the Spartans. He's got 1 single and 1 walk so far. He's been active on the bag up until the point where they send a pinch runner in. The pitch from Wallace is a strike. 1-1 count, 1 out for the Spartans. Velasca with his eye on that one, seeing ball the whole way. 1-2 count. Swing, a ground ball over to the second baseman from Lynn English. Velasca will be thrown out at first. And that's 2 outs. Pretty active inning for Janier Rodriguez. And that'll be Velasca's first out of the game. Michael Domeno up to bat. Ground ball over to Rodriguez. Quite the inning for the young gentleman out of Lynn English. So the end of the first top of the fifth inning, St. Mary's not able to get on base, not able to score any runs. Spartans still lead 2-0. We'll be back with the bottom of the fifth after this break. Kenry Manzanillo up to bat here in the bottom of the fifth for English. Manzanillo with a strikeout in his first at-bat. The pitch from Falaska. 1-0 count. Two 2-0. The shortstop from Lynn English. And this is the pitch that Tommy Falaska wanted. 2-2 count. Pop fly. Looks like it'll creep out of the infield. Center fielder coming in to make the play. He'll gobble that one up. A lot of effort coming out of the glove of Gulma Galva.
Designated hitter number 17, Gilbert Galva.
Gilbert Galva up to bat. Strikeout in his first at bat, the designated hitter for Lynn English. One out for the Bulldogs. And Jardina there on the play for St. Mary's. The pitch from Falaska, 1-1 count. Bit too high, 2-1. Falaska gets the pitch that he wants, delivers. They'll foul that one back. And if I was a new doctor, this would be the game I would want to attend in order to drum up some business. 2-2 count, one out here for the Bulldogs. Gilbert Galva up to bat, the designated hitter. A strikeout in his first at-bat. He grounds that one along the third base line. St. Mary's able to field it cleanly. Gets it over to first base. That'll result in the second out of the inning. Jared Payon there on the play. Gulma Galva up to bat. The pitch from Falaska. Low and inside. 2 outs for the Bulldogs. St. Mary's leading 2-0. And these teams' first matchup in the Doug Mullins baseball tournament. 1-1 count. A beautiful night here in Lynn, Massachusetts at the redeveloped Frazier Field. And we got a souvenir up here in the press box. Galva with a walk in his first at-bat. And another Lynn Tech legend just spotted inside of the Frazier Field. Limbert Thomas is here. 1-2 count, 2 outs for the Bulldogs. The delivery from Falaska just a bit outside. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Tommy Falaska. And at the end of 5, St. Mary's leads 2-0. We'll be right back. Up to bat for St. Mary's, Jardina. Deep ball to left field. That's going to hit the warning track. He'll have a stand-up triple, or he's going to have to get in the dirt. The first triple of the Mullins tournament. Good way to lead off the top of the 6th here. Chris Marks up to bat for the Spartans, our designated hitter. Marks with an RBI so far, but 2 groundouts. He'll take his base there after the hit. That one stung a bit, but it'll sting less with that waltz down to first base. Len English will take some time to talk it over with Wallace. Wallace with 3 strikeouts today so far. Zoom in on it.
Right fielder, number 14, Sam
No, not yet. Wallace will stick it out in the mound. McGonnell up to bat for the Spartans. Grounds in between the second baseman and first baseman. St. Mary's will get one in. And that'll be McGonnell's first RBI of the game. And after a tough first 3 at-bats, he ends up with a single there. Jake Peterson pinch hitting for the Spartans. His first at-bat goes with a bunt. He'll foul that one away. 2 on base for St. Mary's, 1 in scoring position, and no outs. St. Mary's leading 2-0. Here in both of these teams' first game of the Doug Mullins tournament. A special time in the city of Lynn as the school year is wrapping up. And something extra to boast as we're seeing a brand new turf here at Frazier Field. Wallace looks to check the runner at second base after a hefty lead. Peterson with an 0-1 count. 2 on. Going with the bunt. He'll ground that one along the first base line. And they're trying to force the throw over to Wallace. Wallace can't field that one cleanly. Now St. Mary's with an opportunity to score. Wallace makes up the difference there and throws him out, or does he? A lot of celebration going on over there for St. Mary's. St. Mary's with 2 runs here in this inning, bringing their lead from 2-0 to 4-0. Peterson's first at bat, designed to be a bunt, sacrifice grounder. But after an error by the Bulldogs, he'll stand tall at first base. And it looked like Wallace was going to be able to throw him out there at home, but St. Mary's hungry to score here.
First baseman, number
A lot of heart goes into this tournament by all Lynn teams, but especially St. Mary's. Inside, 2-1 count. The pitch inside again. Wallace trying to get him to back off the plate. And it seems as though he's going to decline his invitation to do so. Shane Newhall up to bat. Newhall's first 2 at-bats were groundouts, and he'll take the walk there. Loaded bases here. As the catcher, Isaiah Weston, comes up to play. Comes up to bat. Looks like Coach Dana will throw a pinch hitter in. Pinch hitting for Weston. Josh Doney wearing number 4. Doney's first at bat today. Weston with a strikeout and 2 flyouts in his first 3 at bats. High ball, and he's able to avoid that one. That'll leave you ringing. Doney awaits the pitch. 1-1 count, 0 outs. Bases are loaded for St. Mary's, and they're leading 4-0. Things are good for the Spartans. Fly ball along the third baseline. And that'll soar out of play. 1-2 count. And his third walk of the inning. St. Mary's will get another run here. As McGonnell crosses home plate. Earned himself an RBI this inning. And Doney, in his first at-bat, will earn a single. Seth Sullivan up to bat for the Spartans. The left fielder out of St. Mary's. Sullivan with the fly over the head of the shortstop. St. Mary's will have 1 runner score. Coach Dana holds up another at third base. And it's a machine here for the Spartans in the top of the 6th. Tommy Falaska. Yeah, I don't have any. Now pitching for Lynn English, wearing number 11. Gulma Galva, who was playing center field, comes in to relieve Wallace. And a nice crisp night here at Fraser Field in Lynn, Mass. For the Doug Mullins baseball tournament, as the Lynn baseball teams face off for a little bit of bragging rights. This one means a lot to the Spartans. English standing at an overall record of 10-8 and a league record of 9-5. The Spartans overall 11-6 and in their league 6-1. Tommy Falaska waiting on Galva to warm up, get going. And the ump feels as though that's enough time, so he'll call the players into action. No outs. Top of the sixth, St. Mary's leading 6-0. Bases are loading. Falaska pops one over to the right fielder for Lynn English. Jason Figueroa there on the play.
Shortstop, number 27, Michael DeMano.
Michael DeMano wearing 27, the shortstop for St. Mary's, up to bat. High and outside, St. Mary's still with bases loaded. One out and a 1-1 count. DeMano, the shortstop for St. Mary's, led off his first at-bat with a double and then a single in the third inning. And this is his first at-bat since then. 1-1 count, one out for the Spartans. Make it 2-1. 6-0, Spartans lead over the Bulldogs. The pitch from Galva falls into the dirt. Three and one count. One out here for the Spartans. High one. DeMano will take his base. St. Mary's waltzes across home plate again. And that's their fifth run of the inning here.
Center fielder, number 15, Ted Giardina.
Giardina up to bat for the Spartans. And a hot bat tonight. Giardina with the double in his first at-bat, a single in his second, and a triple this inning alone. Swing and a miss. And the Spartans have made it through their lineup here in this inning. Galva with the pitch. And Giardina gets a surprise out. Two outs here for the Spartans. They lead 7-0 over the Bulldogs. Chris Marks, the designated hitter, up to bat for the St. Mary's Spartans. He grounds that one along the third baseline, and that'll wrap it up for the St. Mary's hot inning here. Good heads-up play by Jariel Benzan, and we'll be back with the bottom of the sixth and see what Lynn English can put together for an offensive front after this. Welcome back. Bottom of the sixth, St. Mary's leading 7-0 here in the Doug Mullins tournament. Classical walked away with the first win, 6-3 against Swampscott. Velasco with the pitch. Leading off the inning for English, Jason Figueroa. Figueroa with a strikeout in his first at-bat, a ground out in his second. Low and outside, 1-1 count. High fly ball. The pitch from Falaska. Figueroa grounds that one. Foul. 2-2 count. Figueroa takes time to assess the situation here. Falaska awaiting the pitch he wants, and he's got it. The pitch. Low and outside. Full count. No outs for the Bulldogs. Here in the bottom of the sixth, St. Mary's leading 7-0. Swing and a miss. His second strikeout of the game, Figueroa.
Second baseman, number 3, Javier Rodriguez.
Nine strikeouts so far for Tommy Falaska. Fouls that one away. Oh, and 1 count, 1 out for the Bulldogs. That one's fouled away. There might be somebody over there he's not a fan of. Oh, and 2 count, 1 out for the Bulldogs. And he stays alive there. Bonilla able to get on base in his first at-bat, but hasn't been very active since then. I'm sorry, Janier Rodriguez. Ground out in his first at-bat. 1 and 2 count, 1 out for the Bulldogs. Swing and a miss. Strikes him out. And that's Velasquez's 10th strikeout of the game. Let me just double check my math on that one. Yep, 10 strikeouts so far. Up to bat for the Bulldogs, Jason Figueroa. Hasn't been able to get on the bag just yet. 2 strikeouts so far on a ground out in third inning. Falaska gets the pitch that he wants. Timeout called here by the first base judge. Falaska with the pitch.
Right fielder, Jason Figueroa.
Far outside. One and 2 count, 2 outs for the Bulldogs. Velasco hoping to bring his strikeout tally to 11 after this pitch. 7-0, the Spartans lead here in the second tournament game of the Doug Mullins tournament. Classical walking away with a victory over Swampscott, 6-3. Two and two count, 2 outs. Ground ball past Velasco over to the second baseman for St. Mary's. That fielded that one cleanly. Throws it over to Newhall for the third out of the inning. And what needed to be a hot inning for the Bulldogs does not result in the way that they needed it to go. St. Mary's leading 7-0, and we'll be back with the top of the 7th after this break. Jariel Bunzan up to the mound for Lynn English. St. Mary's leading 7-0. They got a lot of ground to make up. Hopefully they can cool down those bats for the Spartans. One and 0 count. The pitch from Bunzan way outside. Two and 0 count. McGonnell up to bat for the Spartans. Faces a 3-0 count. Three and 1. McGonnell with a single and an RBI in his last at-bat. I think everybody did a little bit of work in the last inning for St. Mary's. Pitch from Bunzan leads to a full count. The right fielder for the Spartans awaits the pitch from Bunzan. He gets the call that he wants in the delivery. And he'll take his base. McGonnell's okay with that. Coming up to bat, Peterson, the pinch hitter for St. Mary's. A single in his last at-bat. And we'll see Duvall come in and pinch run for McGonnell. And a 3-letter chant has just broken out from the Spartans dugout. One and 0 count, no out for the Spartans, and one on first base. Bunzan's pitch a little low, 2-0 count. Peterson awaits the pitch. High ball, and the pinch runner will go and slide in safely to second. So with a 3-0 count, no outs here in the top of the 7th, St. Mary's leading 7-0. They got another one in scoring position. And a bit of a discrepancy needed to be cleared up by the umpire sitting in infield. Peterson waits the pitch from Bunzan, and he'll take his base. St. Mary's now with 2 on bags. Peterson with a single in his first at bat and a walk there. The first baseman out of St. Mary's, Shane Newhall, up to bat. And the English infield will take a little bit of time to deliberate. And an adjustment needs to be made at the mound for English. They've gone through 3 pitches. This is their 3rd pitcher of the night. I'm sure a lot of, hey, you got this. We are behind you. Make sure you stay calm is probably what Bunzan heard up at the mound. Manzanillo, the 4th pitcher for the Bulldogs tonight. And up to bat, Shane Newhall. Two and 0 count, no outs for the Spartans, and 2 men on base, 1 in scoring position. The pitch, high, 3 and 0 count. And that'll be another walk for the Bulldogs. Manzanillo trying to find his way. Number 22, the catcher for St. Mary's, Isaiah Weston, up to bat. St. Mary's looking at another inning with loaded bases. 1 and 0 count, no outs. The Spartans lead 7-0. One and 2 count. And Brendan Falaska might have a read here on Isaiah Weston. Weston with a strikeout in his first at bat. and 2 flyouts. Hoping to walk away with at least a single here and an RBI. 1-2 count. Swing and a miss. And Manzanillo able to earn his first strikeout there. Number 9, Seth Sullivan, the left fielder for St. Mary's, up to bat. Sullivan with a single and an RBI in his last at-bat. 1 out for the Spartans, loaded bases. 7-0 lead for the boys in blue and gold. The pitch from Manzanillo. 2-0 count, 1 out for the Spartans. Swing and a miss, 2-1. Just a bit inside, 3-0 count. He'll take his base, and St. Mary's will walk away with another run. Back to the top of the Spartans lineup, Tommy Falaska, the pitcher, wearing number 8 today. Leading off his first at-bat with a walk, then a single. He grounded out and then flied out in the second. Bases loaded for St. Mary's. 8-1 lead. The pitch, swing and a miss. 1-1 count. Hits that one at the first baseman. He can't make the catch. They're going to try to force the out at second. He can't field that one cleanly. Shortstop from Lynn English, who was Kenry Manzanillo, who is now on the mound right now. Not able to get that one and field it cleanly. And a pinch hitter will come in for Falaska. Mike DeMano up to bat for the Spartans. Spartans now 9 runs over Lynn English's 0. Swing, high fastball. One and one count, 1 out for the Spartans. Low and outside. Loaded bases for St. Mary's. And Manzanillo, the 4th pitcher in for the Bulldogs today in the second game of the Doug Mullins tournament. Classical led off the Mullins tournament and was able to walk away with a 6-3 win over the Big Blue out of Swampscott. And if St. Mary's can play safely, looks like they'll walk away with a W here. And they force the out at home. That'll be the second out of the inning. So a single for DeMano results in a force out at home for the Spartans. 2 outs here. Bases still loaded. Jardina up to bat for the Spartans. The center fielder, who's wearing 15. DeMano with a double, a single, and a single. Hot bat tonight. 2-1 count. 2 outs here for the Spartans. Giardino awaits the pitch. See something he doesn't like. Takes the strike. 2-2 count. 2 outs for the Spartans. Bases are loaded. Swing and a miss. And that's his second strikeout of the game. Giardino got 2 at-bats in the 6th inning. His first was a triple. His second was a strikeout. St. Mary's leads 9-0 as English heads in to their rally inning. We'll see what happens after this break. Bottom of the 7th here. Lynn English has a lot of work to make up for their first 6 innings at bat. Velasco with the pitch. High fastball, and Jariel Benzan does not fall for it. Benzan on the mound for the Bulldogs. His the fourth pitcher of the game today. 1-1 count. I'm sorry, Benzan was the third pitcher up for the Bulldogs. And short infield ground ball. Not able to get there is Tommy Velasco. Coming a long way from third base, Jared Payon. Can't get there. Adrian Bonilla up to bat. He hits that one pretty deep into right field. St. Mary's is there for it. The right fielder for the Spartans, McGonnell, able to get that one cleanly. Ground ball over to the second baseman for St. Mary's. They're going to try with the second. They attempt at the double play, and they won't get it. They will get the forced out at second. 2 outs here. 1 on the bag for Lynn English. Tommy Velasco just making English aware. I'm still paying attention to what's going on in this game. You keep taking those hefty leads, we're going to push you back. Velasco with the pitch. Deep ball over to left field. Kenry Manzanillo able to get a single there. 2 on the bags for the Bulldogs. 1 in scoring position. Gilbert Galva, the designated hitter for the Bulldogs, up to bat. Galva with the strikeout in his first at-bat and a ground out in his second. This is his third at-bat of the game. 2 outs, 2 on for English. 9-0 lead for the Spartans. The pitch from Velasco. 1-0 count. One and one count. Well, it was kind of a half signal from the ump. Might have a 2-0. 2-0 count. 2 outs. Velasco checks back to the base runner at second. Gilbert Galva sitting pretty, looking at a 3-0 count. 2 outs and 2 on for the Bulldogs. Ten strikeouts so far for Tommy Falaska. 3-1 count, 2 outs. Falaska hoping to keep this donut on the board for Lynn English. Pop fly along the third baseline, and St. Mary's able to gobble that one. Another great play by Jared Payon. And that's the end of the ball game. St. Mary's wins 9-0, scoring 1 run in the first inning, another one in the third, 6 in the sixth inning, and 2 in the top of the seventh. Lynn English finishes with no runs today and 10 strikeouts for Tommy Falaska here in the second game of the Doug Mullins tournament. Quite an effort by the young man on the mound. St. Mary's doing a lot of work in the top of the sixth inning. And what started out slow with the fly out, Seth Sullivan came up to play. He got a single and an RBI, a couple of walks, a stand-up triple from Jardina, and we even saw some guys come off the bench. Doney with a single and an RBI in the sixth. Peterson with a single in the sixth. And seemingly bases were loaded the entire duration of that half inning. So after 2 games here in the Mullins tournament, St. Mary's walks away with a 9-0 lead. Lynn Classical walks away with a victory over Swampscott with 6-3. We'll see what tomorrow brings. From the press box here at beautiful Fraser Field, I'm Sean Donahue, thanking you, our viewers, and our crew from Lynn Classical for coming out to film the game. We're happy to bring you high school baseball here in Lynn, Massachusetts, and we're wishing you all the best. We'll be back with more baseball tomorrow.